आज हमारे साथ है गजल जैन जो कि है एसोसिएट फंड मैनेजर एंड स्पेशलाइज करते हैं ऑल्टरनेटिव इन्वेस्टमेंट में विद क्वांटम एएमसी. मिस गजल has completed her MBA in finance from the School of Business Management, Narsi Munjay, Mumbai, and she joined Quantum Mutual Funds in 2019. She has got 4 years of experience in the field of finance and specializes in alternate investments. Over her career, she has gained a multi-asset exposure by helping manage the gold ETF, equity fund of fund, and the multi-asset funds and quantum. She is a regular contributor to leading finance at business dailies. गज़ल, वेलकम टू दिस शो. आज हम आपके साथ शेयर करेंगे कुछ ऐसे क्वेश्चंस जो मेरे चैनल पे लोगों ने पूछा है. काफ़ी बेसिक क्वेश्चंस हैं और आई होप कि आप उनके आंसर देके उनको एजुकेट करेंगे म्यूचुअल फंड्स के बारे में और उससे एसोसिएटेड जो जानकारी है वो आप शेयर करेंगे. सो वेलकम वंस अगेन टू दिस शो.
थैंक्स अमित.
तो सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन जो कि काफ़ी बेसिक है, व्हाई म्यूचुअल फंड्स? व्हाई शुड वन बी इन्वेस्टिंग इन म्यूचुअल फंड्स?
Often we've seen that mutual funds, are misunderstood by investors as a very complex investment vehicle. However, in reality, they are very simple. There's this example that I tend to use to explain mutual funds to first-time investors. It's like the mutual fund scheme is like a bus. The passengers of the bus are the investors. They've all pooled their money. And the bus driver is the fund manager who's going to drive that bus to whatever the investment objective is or whatever the destination of the passengers is, right? So this is the simplest way to understand mutual funds. Really, nothing complicated. The first question that comes to people's mind is, I can directly invest in stocks. मैं खुद stock market में invest कर सकता हूँ या gold में invest कर सकता हूँ. तो मुझे mutual funds के route से क्यों जाना चाहिए? So the first thing is we need to understand a lot of investors do not have the time or the resources कि वो research करे और individual stocks या bonds या gold खरीदे बेचे on a regular basis. This is where professional management can be very useful. क्योंकि जो professional fund managers होते हैं they have expertise. They research, they analyze stocks, securities, and they manage that money for you, right? Make any adjustments as and when required to meet your objectives, your money's objectives. So professional management is the number one reason why आपको mutual funds opt करना चाहिए. Second reason I would say is diversification. For example, अगर मैं एक investor हूँ and I have 1,000 rupees जो मुझे invest करने हैं, मैं उससे 2, 3 या 4 या 5 स्टॉक खरीद पाऊंगी, right? Depending on whatever the prices of the stocks are. बट अगर मेरे पास 1,000 रुपीज है और मैं आज एक इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड में जाके वो 1,000 रुपीज इन्वेस्ट करती हूँ, तो मुझे उस 1,000 रुपीज से उस फंड के जितने भी अंडरलाइन स्टॉक्स एंड सिक्योरिटीज है 50, 60, 70 उन सब का एक्सपोजर मिलता है. सो विद दैट लिमिटेड मनी आपको डाइवर्सिफिकेशन इतना मिल जाता है, राइट? So this is the next I mean the second advantage I would say कि क्यों म्यूचुअल फंड्स यूज करने चाहिए. एंड लास्टली आई वुड से SIP जो फैसिलिटी है, सिस्टमैटिक इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लान, ये क्या करती है, ये म्यूचुअल फंड्स को या इन्वेस्टिंग इन जनरल को बहुत अफोर्डेबल कर देती है. लाइक आई मेंशन्ड earlier कि just with amounts as low as ₹500 आप एक डिसिप्लिन्ड वे में मनी स्टॉक मार्केट या बॉन्ड्स या गोल्ड में इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं. इससे एक डिसिप्लिन आता है आपकी स्पेंडिंग हैबिट्स में, आप रेगुलरली इन्वेस्ट करते हैं और इसमें इसेंशियली इन अ सिंपल वे एक बैंक को इंस्ट्रक्शन दिया जाता है कि ऑटो डेबिट हो जाए एक सर्टेन अमाउंट एवरी मंथ टुवर्ड्स योर म्यूचुअल फंड. एंड इससे एक और एडेड एडवांटेज होता है, वो है रूपी कॉस्ट एवरेजिंग. क्योंकि स्टॉक मार्केट्स बहुत ऊपर नीचे, बहुत वॉलेटिलिटी हम देखते हैं स्टॉक मार्केट्स में. SIP के थ्रू आपका जो एवरेज परचेज कॉस्ट है वो कम हो जाता है. कैसे? जब मार्केट्स ऊपर होते हैं तो योर SIP अमाउंट से 1,000 रुपीज विल बाय लेस यूनिट्स, बट एट द सेम टाइम जब मार्केट्स गिरते हैं या करेक्ट होते हैं तो दैट 1,000 रुपीज विल बाय यू मोर यूनिट्स, राइट? तो आपका एवरेज कॉस्ट जो है वो कम हो जाता है. So these are some of the benefits which can come in if you choose the mutual fund route to invest in the markets.
Okay, I think that's very insightful, and the example that you gave in the beginning about the bus and the driver, I think that's really the key एंड हेल्प्स अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि कैसे आपके गोल्स की तरफ आपको म्यूचुअल फंड मैनेजर लेके जाता है. So yesterday I had a very interesting discussion with one of my close relatives who said that if they invest in stocks, it is very risky. और जैसे आपने भी कहा कि म्यूचुअल फंड से आप वो रिस्क थोड़ा सा हटा सकते हैं, लेकिन what if the price crashes, right? म्यूचुअल फंड में रिस्क तो है ही, and what if my money goes down? In short, what about the safety of my money? Mutual funds are they a safe place to invest?
Right. सो मैं सबसे पहले चीज कहना चाहूंगी, अभी म्यूचुअल फंड्स के बारे में अपन ने बहुत डिस्क्लेमर सुना है कि म्यूचुअल फंड्स आर सब्जेक्ट टू मार्केट रिस्क, सो प्लीज रीड स्कीम रिलेटेड डॉक्यूमेंट्स केयरफुली. राइट, म्यूचुअल फंड्स आर रिस्की, बट I mean, so are all other investment products which you want to invest in, right? So this comes down to what does safe or what does risk mean to you, right? आपको ये रीडिफाइन करना पड़ेगा और इन्वेस्टर्स को रिस्क या सेफ्टी को और डेप्थ में समझना पड़ेगा. रिस्क इज नॉट ओनली जस्ट लूजिंग कैपिटल, जैसे कि आपने कहा कि जब स्टॉक मार्केट्स गिरे, राइट, दैट इज वन फॉर्म ऑफ रिस्क. अनदर फॉर्म ऑफ रिस्क इज, जैसे कि हम देखते हैं फिक्स डिपॉजिट, बैंक फिक्स डिपॉजिट्स में इन्वेस्टर्स या लोग अपना पैसा डालते हैं, वहां गारंटीड रिटर्न्स है, कैपिटल प्रोटेक्शन भी है, लेकिन फिक्स डिपॉजिट के जो रिटर्न्स हैं वो जरूरी नहीं है कि वो इतने एडिक्वेट रहेंगे कि आप अपने फाइनेंशियल गोल्स मीट कर सके, राइट? सो दैट इज ऑल्सो अ रिस्क, right? That is also a risk. You will not be able to meet your financial objectives or your financial goals. So we have to, understand risk and safety in a more broader context. But of course, I will come to the risks that are involved जब म्यूचुअल फंड्स में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं. So essentially अगर देखा जाए तो दो risks हैं जो इन्वेस्टर्स के माइंड में आते हैं, वो है कैपिटल प्रोटेक्शन एंड फ्रॉड, कोई तरह का फ्रॉड होएगा. Yes, म्यूचुअल फंड्स कोई भी रिटर्न्स गारंटी नहीं करते हैं, जैसे कि फिक्स डिपॉजिट्स, तो आपका जो इनिशियल कैपिटल है वो भी लूज हो सकता है इन केस ऑफ इफ यू आर इन्वेस्टिंग इन एन इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड. तो स्टॉक मार्केट्स अगर गिरते हैं तो आपका कैपिटल इज ऑल्सो एट रिस्क. पर how is this taken care of? I mean, we have experts, we have fund managers who are studying markets, analyzing, picking the right stocks, stocks and securities or bonds that will do well in the future. Secondly, जैसे मैंने बताया, डाइवर्सिफाई करते हैं म्यूचुअल फंड्स. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आज अगर आप खुद स्टॉक मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट करें और आपने 5 स्टॉक्स में इन्वेस्ट किया है, हो सकता है उसमें से 2 या 3 अच्छा नहीं करे, right? Whereas and that could have a significant impact on your overall portfolio. Whereas अगर आप म्यूचुअल फंड्स के थ्रू करते हैं, of course there will be a loss when the markets correct, but that loss will be divided over so many stocks. Maybe one stock has done well and the other hasn't. So that stock that has done well can compensate you for the loss that the underperforming stock has done. So there are इसमें जो स्ट्रक्चर है म्यूचुअल फंड्स का, उसमें डाइवर्सिफिकेशन है, so all this is intended to protect your capital, but yes, there is no guarantee of return, and you can lose your principal amount. Another thing that investors are worried about when investing in mutual funds is safety of capital in terms of fraud. क्योंकि हमें मालूम है banks are regulated by RBI, and banks are not going anywhere when we deposit our money. Mutual funds also they are regulated by SEBI, right? They also take licenses just like banks. They need approvals. They also do due diligence before investing your money. So mutual fund companies simply बंद नहीं हो सकती और आपके पैसे के साथ भाग नहीं सकती. But since I know when people are talking about risk, they're mainly talking about market risk or credit risk, liquidity risk. Yes, ये तरह के risks हैं mutual funds में. But again, this also depends on which mutual fund you are investing in. For example, अगर आप equity mutual fund में invest करते हैं तो market risks या fund manager risk are prevalent, right? अगर आप debt funds में invest करते हैं तो क्रेडिट रिस्क हो सकता है, मतलब जिस इशूअर के बॉन्ड्स को इस डेट फंड ने खरीदा है वो अपना इंटरेस्ट नहीं पे कर पाते तो उसे क्रेडिट रिस्क कहा जाता है. या फिर इंटरेस्ट रेट रिस्क भी हो सकता है डेट म्यूचुअल फंड्स में, जैसे कि अगर इंटरेस्ट रेट्स गिर जाते हैं या बढ़ जाते हैं, आपके डेट फंड्स ने सर्टेन इंटरेस्ट रेट पे बॉन्ड्स खरीदे हुए हैं तो वैसे भी उसे नुकसान या फायदा हो सकता है. सो देयर आर दीज काइंड ऑफ रिस्क्स, बट the best way to deal with these mutual fund risks is not to not invest in mutual funds. The best way is to find the mutual fund that is suitable to your risk appetite, that is suitable to your investment objective. And इसलिए इस point पे मैं SEBI के रिस्कोमीटर को mention करना चाहूंगी. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर कोई है जो अपने अर्ली 20s में है, they want to have an aggressive approach towards investing, and they want to invest more in equity, so they would opt for equity mutual funds, and they have to be prepared for the risks that come with it. Whereas कोई retired person है, जो जिनका रिस्क एपेटाइट इतना नहीं है, तो वो फिक्स्ड इनकम या डेट म्यूचुअल फंड्स में इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं. सो इफ यू सी, सेबी का एक रिस्कोमीटर है जो फंड्स के रिस्क लेवल को मैप आउट करता है. दिस कैन बी अ गुड स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट फॉर यू टू अंडरस्टैंड कि आपको इस म्यूचुअल फंड में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए कि नहीं. ये रिस्कोमीटर जो है लो, मॉडरेटली लो, मॉडरेट, हाई, वेरी हाई, ऐसे करके रिस्क को क्लासिफाई करता है. फॉर डिफरेंट फंड्स इट्स डिफरेंट एंड यू कैन चूज इट एज पर योर रिस्क एपेटाइट. आई जस्ट गिव अ कपल ऑफ एग्जांपल्स जिससे आपको समझ आ जाए. तो अगर रिस्क लेवल लो है, सो फंड्स लाइक गिल्ट फंड्स या लिक्विड फंड्स, ये उन लोगों के लिए हैं जिनका रिस्क लेवल हाई नहीं है और उनका इन्वेस्टमेंट ड्यूरेशन लिक्विड फंड्स में जैसे इन्वेस्टमेंट ड्यूरेशन बहुत लो है या कम है, 6 months to 1 year. फिर आते हैं मॉडरेटली या मॉडरेटली हाई म्यूचुअल फंड्स रिस्क. वो होंगे हाइब्रिड फंड्स जो इक्विटी और डेट के एक कॉम्बिनेशन स्ट्रैटेजी में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं. एंड हाई एंड वेरी हाई रिस्क होंगे जो सिर्फ इक्विटी फंड्स एंड स्पेसिफिकली स्मॉल कैप फंड्स, मिड कैप फंड्स, थीमेटिक फंड्स में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं. So this is ideal for high net worth individuals or aggressive investors, who are young, who have long investment horizon. So basically the point being, yes, mutual funds come with their risks. They do not guarantee returns, but depending on your risk appetite and your investment objective, आप अपने हिसाब से म्यूचुअल फंड कैटेगरीज या म्यूचुअल फंड स्कीम्स चूज कर सकते हैं to diversify the risks.
Okay, so I think that's very insightful that हम अपने जितना मुझे रिस्क लेना, जितना मेरा एपिटाइट है उसके हिसाब से मैं वो म्यूचुअल फंड लूँ. प्लस इन्फ्लेशन बीटिंग रिटर्न्स जो हैं, दैट इज़ द इम्पॉर्टेंट आस्पेक्ट, राइट, दैट यू कवर्ड. सो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन जो था वो ये था कि जो लोग कुछ समझते हैं म्यूचुअल फंड्स को, वो कहते हैं कि वाई शुड आई नॉट सिंपली गो विद इंडेक्स म्यूचुअल फंड्स, वाई शुड आई रिस्क एंड म्यूचुअल फंड्स में भी अगेन लाइक यू कवर्ड द रिस्कोमीटर, राइट, वाई शुड आई गो और गेट इंक्लाइन टूवर्ड्स द actively managed fund. उसका क्या फायदा है? Why should I not just stick with passive?
Right. So actively managed funds and index funds में सबसे essential difference जो हमें समझना है कि actively managed funds market की returns को beat करने का उनका objective है, और index funds का objective है market की performance को track करने का, mimic करने का, copy करने का. राइट. अब एक्टिवली मैनेज म्यूचुअल फंड्स को अगर मार्केट बीट करना है, फंड मैनेजर हैज टू एक्टिवली सिलेक्ट स्टॉक्स, सिक्योरिटीज, बॉन्ड्स. ही हैज टू रिसर्च एंड सिलेक्ट देम, राइट. So they do come at a higher expense ratio, which is what I think most investors have a concern about कि मैं index funds में क्यों नहीं इन्वेस्ट करूँ जिसका expense ratio कम रहता है. Yes, index funds का expense ratio कम रहता है because they don't have any active decision making or to do in terms of selecting the securities. So there is no right or wrong कि एक्टिव ही लेना चाहिए या पैसिव ही लेना चाहिए. इनफैक्ट हम लोग तो एक्टिव एंड पैसिव स्ट्रैटेजी, लाइक दैट इज व्हाट आई वुड सजेस्ट, कि चॉइस इज नॉट एक्टिव और पैसिव, इट इज एक्टिव एंड पैसिव. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, जो आप इंडेक्स फंड्स देख रहे हैं, वो जो लीडिंग इंडेक्स फंड्स हैं, दे यूजुअली ट्रैक इंडाइसेस लाइक सेंसेक्स, निफ्टी, BSE 200, राइट. ये सब जो है ये लार्ज कैप स्पेस के इंडाइसेस हैं. जो लार्ज कैप स्टॉक्स हैं वो इतनी वाइडली रिसर्च्ड हैं और उसमें कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन एसिमेट्री नहीं है, तो एक्टिव म्यूचुअल फंड्स उस स्पेस में मार्केट को बीट नहीं कर पाते. तो वहां इंडेक्स फंड्स कैन बी अ गुड ऑप्शन, राइट, क्योंकि आपका एक्सपेंस रेशियो भी कम है एंड यू विल गेट मार्केट लाइक रिटर्न्स. बट इन अदर एरियाज लाइक मिड कैप और स्मॉल कैप और वैल्यू स्टाइल ऑफ इन्वेस्टिंग और ESG इन्वेस्टिंग, वहां पे एक्टिव मैनेजमेंट के लिए बहुत स्कोप है. इसलिए वहां पे इवन एट दैट हाई एक्सपेंस रेशियो देयर इज अ चांस दैट योर फंड कैन बीट द मार्केट. सो इन दोज स्पेसेस आई वुड सजेस्ट यू कैन look for actively managed funds. While index funds do have lower expense ratio, I would like to point out कि जब markets गिरेंगे, index funds भी उतना ही गिरेंगे. they don't have the flexibility कि वो market downside को manage कर सके जो एक actively managed mutual fund कर सकता है. So this is something people don't keep in mind when markets are doing well. We think index funds ही अच्छे हैं क्योंकि they are giving market like returns. But please remember, when markets fall, index funds too will be falling to that extent, right? Also, इंडेक्स फंड्स में एक और चीज जो एक ड्रॉबैक मैं बताना चाहूंगी वो है कॉन्सेंट्रेशन रिस्क का. फॉर एग्जांपल, जो अपनी इंडेक्स फंड्स हैं वो इंडेक्स को कॉपी करते हैं और इंडेक्स अपने मार्केट कैप वेटेड इंडेक्सेस हैं. तो उसमें जिस कंपनी का ज्यादा मार्केट कैप होता है उसको ज्यादा वेट मिलता है इंडेक्स में. इसलिए इंडेक्स फंड्स को ऑटोमेटिकली जो बड़ी कंपनीज है वो उनकी तरफ ज्यादा कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड रहती है. सो एक कॉन्सेंट्रेशन रिस्क भी रहता है जो एक्टिवली मैनेज म्यूचुअल फंड्स में नहीं रहता, क्योंकि एज पर सेबी वहां पे एक सर्टेन लिमिट है बियॉन्ड विच यू कैन नॉट हैव एक्सपोजर टू वन सिंगल स्टॉक और सिक्योरिटी. सो again, both are good options depending on what space and what agenda you are investing for. But yeah, so this is the difference between the two.
We have covered so far कि म्यूचुअल फंड्स कितने तरीके के होते हैं, क्या रिस्क एपेटाइट्स हैं, क्या सब आपने मेरे से डिस्कस किया. बट फिर भी लोगों का ये सवाल है, मुझे गारंटी चाहिए. आई लाइक गारंटी. आई एम हैप्पी विद 6% रेट ऑफ रिटर्न. सो वाई शुड आई रियली बी टेकिंग रिस्क? मैं क्यों डालूं म्यूचुअल फंड्स के अंदर? मैं ठीक है, जो भी एफडी रिटर्न आ रहे हैं, बाकी रिटर्न आ रहे हैं. वाई, हाउ वुड यू कन्विंस समबडी हु सेज आई एम टोटली हैप्पी विद 6% रिटर्न्स एंड दे आर नॉट इवन 6% राइट नाउ?
सो I'm not very surprised with this question क्योंकि बैंक फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट्स इंडिया का सबसे फेवरेट सेविंग इंस्ट्रूमेंट है. I mean, as of latest data, RBI ने बताया कि 53% ऑफ हाउसहोल्ड सेविंग्स इंडिया की बैंक डिपॉजिट्स में रहती. एंड आई अंडरस्टैंड assured returns, सेफ्टी ऑफ कैपिटल, ये बहुत बड़े अट्रैक्शंस है एंड दैट इज व्हाई डिफॉल्ट है अपना कि जो भी सेविंग्स अपन फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट में डाल देते हैं. बट I want to say these instruments are not exactly risk-free. ये risk-free instruments नहीं है. Reason being inflation, right? तो आप जैसे लेफ्ट के चार्ट में देख सकते हैं, I've just plotted कि interest rates over the last 2-3 decades कैसे नीचे आती हुई दिख रही है. Structurally, they have been coming down. Our generation, the generation before us was used to 8 to 10% interest rates in fixed deposits. That is not the case anymore. We are seeing a structural decline. तो 6% पे अब फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट रेट्स आ चुकी हैं. ऑन द अदर हैंड इन्फ्लेशन जो अपन न्यूज में पढ़ते हैं वो ऑफकोर्स 5-6% के आसपास रहता है. बट वी ऑल नो जब हम मेडिकल बिल्स होते हैं या एजुकेशन है या जब हम फूड खरीदने जाते हैं, ग्रोसरीज खरीदने जाते हैं, इन्फ्लेशन एनुअली इज मच हायर देन दैट 6%, राइट? ऑन ग्राउंड जो कंज्यूमर को इम्पैक्ट होता है वो 6% से बहुत हाई रहता है. सो जस्ट टू मेक माई पॉइंट फर्दर, वी हैव मैप्ड अ कंज्यूमर बास्केट ओवर द लास्ट 3 decades कि कैसे द बेसिक थिंग्स, ग्रोसरीज, स्कूलिंग, एंटरटेनमेंट, ट्रांसपोर्ट, ये सब एक बास्केट बना के 1990 से ये किस रेट पे ये इंक्रीज हुआ है, क्या रहा है इसका एनुअल इन्फ्लेशन. एंड वो रहा है अराउंड 10%, राइट? फिर हमने देखा कि ओवर दिस सेम टाइम पीरियड गोल्ड में अगर किसी ने इन्वेस्ट किया होता तो उनका रिटर्न हर साल क्या रहता? इट वुड बी अराउंड 9.4%. नेक्स्ट वी मैप्ड सेंसेक्स. ओवर दिस टाइम पीरियड सेंसेक्स gave a return of about 14-15%. Lastly, we mapped fixed deposits, right? And we saw that over this time period annually CAGR फिक्स डिपॉजिट ने सिर्फ 6% दिया है, राइट? नाउ अपना स्पेंडिंग बास्केट 10% से इंक्रीज हुआ है हर साल और अपना फिक्स डिपॉजिट जो अपना प्रेफर्ड सेविंग इंस्ट्रूमेंट है वो 6% से इंक्रीज हुआ, विच मीन्स एवरी ईयर आप पुअर हो जा रहे हो. इवन दो यू आर सेविंग दैट मनी इन द फिक्स डिपॉजिट, इट्स ओनली गिविंग यू 6% रिटर्न, जबकि खर्चा आपका हर साल 10% बढ़ रहा है. आई मीन दिस हाईलाइट्स फिक्स डिपॉजिट्स आर नॉट रिस्क फ्री. You cannot be happy with 6% returns. You just cannot afford to. If you ever want to, achieve your financial goals, achieve financial independence, and financial security, you cannot afford today, in today's time and age of, high inflation, to be satisfied with 6% returns of fixed deposits. You have to be, you really need to rethink this decision.
I think there's a very important point that you highlighted. हम बात करते थे inflation beating की, but the point that you put across saying risk है, और वो risk ये है कि आप अपने life के goals पूरे नहीं कर पाएंगे. So that statement is very very strong. So great. So if somebody gets convinced by these things, चलो ठीक है, let me start investing in mutual fund. What do you think is the right age? One should start at 25, 35, 45, and how much should one be investing in mutual funds?
All right. So, what amount should I start with? This is a very, frequently asked question, and people tend to overthink this. कि मेरा अभी salary इतना है ही नहीं कि मैं monthly कुछ invest कर पाऊँ. But this is the problem. कोई sizable amount या कोई significant amount होना जरूरी नहीं है. Of your salary to be able to start investing. Anything. I mean, SIPs today, mutual funds are starting as low as rupees 500. 500 rupees a month. I mean, that is when you start. If you can put away 500 rupees per month, I would say you should be starting to invest, right? Now, why should you be starting to invest with 500? I don't care what salary level you are at. Reason being, people wait too long to start investing. And what you're doing there is you are, limiting the impact power of compounding can have on your money. So, just to make this easy, if you see the graph on the right, we have two people, both have invested 10,000 rupees, right? And they have not invested any additional amount after that. They both earn 10% return annually, right? You can see at the age of 65, person one has almost double the amount of corpus than person two. And the only difference between the two, if you can see in the graph, is that person one started investing at the age of 20 and person two started investing at the age of 30. That's how much difference 5-10 years can make. We think, once I get a promotion, once I get a higher salary, that's when I'll start investing. Bad idea. Start investing today. That is what I would and I mean, anyone, looking to start getting to invest.
So we start early and we are ready to gain from it. So what about the people who are retired? Should they be investing or should they continue their investments in mutual fund given that it is risky and they have waited long enough to get the gains? People, when they reach the retirement age, right, they have sizable corpus. So what is your view and what is your suggestion around that?
There is this, perception that once a person has reached the age of retirement, obviously he needs regular income and his risk appetite is low. I agree. Right? So that is why he should stay completely away from equities. I would disagree with that. And I have 5 reasons for that here. Number one, first of all, India is a largely unpensioned society. Private sector employees, unlike, the Western nations like US or UK, don't have a safety net in the form of government pensions, right? So they need to create their own post-retirement income stream by saving and investing systematically during their working lives. Now, then comes again inflation. Inflation again. So let's talk about this. If inflation is 5%, right, then rupees 100 can buy only rupees 95 worth of goods or products 1 year from now, right? After 10 years, it can buy only rupees 60 worth of goods. And after 20 years, only 37 rupees worth of goods, right? So inflation is going to be eating into your returns. Now, fixed deposit or debt mutual fund schemes tend to either copy inflation or give returns lower than that. That's where equities comes into the picture, right? And it's very important. I mean, as a retired person, or at some point when we do retire, and we have longer lifespans now, medical costs also, take a hit, have an impact on your monthly outgo. So, I mean, there is so many things that retired people have to consider, and not, having equity exposure is a mistake. Having said that, there are mutual funds with different risk profiles and, different time horizons and investment objectives. So, I mean, it's not necessary that you only invest in equity mutual funds. There are debt mutual funds, gold mutual funds, depending on, whatever you're comfortable with. And so, I mean, just as, there is no one size fits all approach, but just like an example I've given, after you've secured your emergency funds and your monthly income requirements in debt funds, say for 5 to 7 years, you need to invest the remaining portion of your retired money, whatever corpus you've saved up, into equities to be able to give you inflation adjusted returns for your 15, 20, 25 years of, life that is still ahead of you.
So this is for retired people, right? But like you said earlier, for fixed deposits, right? हमारे country में fixed deposits को धर्म कर्म मानते हैं when we talk about investment. And similar is the case with the insurance, that you take the insurance and you get life cover and you also get a return on your investment. Then why should one be choosing mutual funds when they are also getting return on their investment along with the insurance cover?
So usually one of the thumb rules, they say in personal finances, you should ideally avoid mixing investment and insurance. So these insurance-based products, investment products that we see, they're a mix. Of course, their main function is to provide insurance. Mutual funds, on the other hand, are pure investment products. They have the sole agenda of creating wealth, by generating reasonable returns. So there is no right or wrong again. The decision whether you want to invest in mutual funds or insurance related products, again, depends on the investor and his particular needs, financial goals, risk profile. But ideally, this is what we would say: if someone wants to build wealth over the long term, is looking for reasonable returns, and they have a term insurance policy, in place, they should opt for mutual funds. Mutual funds, compared to insurance products, come with higher liquidity as well. You can buy and sell as and when you require money, compared to insurance-linked investment products, which generally have a lock-in period of, say, 5 to 7 years, right? So again, higher liquidity and investment returns, comparatively higher investment returns is what mutual funds can offer you. And insurance-based investment products are ideal for, those looking for a tax-saving investment, because most of the insurance-based investments are eligible for deduction, under Section 80C. Also, if someone is seeking a life insurance policy, and investment returns is just the secondary part of their agenda. So again, no right and wrong. Depending on your circumstances and what your needs and objectives are, you can opt for those.
So Ghazal, let's talk about homemakers now, right? So I consider them as to be the best managers of the budgets and best fund managers of home. However, when it comes to investment, most of it is restricted to the small savings scheme, PPF, NSC, post office saving schemes. How can they start their journey in mutual funds? How can we help them, motivate them, or make them more knowledgeable about this?
I mean, homemakers, as well as we've seen, working women, even though they've become financially independent, the idea of investing in stock markets or bonds or gold, financial gold, is often linked to the men of the family. These are decisions that men tend to take. So, like you said rightly, the first step, in empowering women to, take control of their finances is to educate them. Women have to be proactive in trying to learn and understand these concepts, because, they are the fund managers of the house, like you said, and women tend to be very good savers. And in fact, a lot of, studies have shown that, they tend to have better temperament and emotional, the mindset to become better or successful investors. So it is very important, yes. And if specifically, if we're talking about homemakers, I think a good start for them would be firstly to get educated, read about it online, right? Watch seminars like these, right? And if it is about making the first step, it's important, like I've spoken throughout this webinar, that they need to move beyond the safety of fixed deposits and gold jewelry, etc. I mean, even though you're very familiar, you're comfortable with them, they're giving you assured returns, they are harming your money in the long term, like we've spoken about now. Even gold jewelry, in fact, this preference for physical gold is very inefficient. If you are, if you want to invest in gold, there are other financial, more efficient forms of investing in the metal. Physical gold not only comes with, concerns about the purity, right? It also comes with concerns of pricing. You want to go, different Jewelers, different shops will give you different prices. You want to go sell, you'll get a lower resale value. There are higher making charges, premiums. All of this is eating into your returns, right? So this preference for physical gold, preference for fixed deposits, not efficient, right? Not the right thing to do. If you want to move towards financial and more efficient forms, I would suggest, things like maybe whatever you're saving monthly, you can first transfer into liquid funds, right? Liquid funds are very low risk products, right? With time durations of say 6 months to 12 months. You can park your money there, right? And slowly and steadily, you can transfer your money to the main markets, be it equity funds or bond funds. For first time investors and for homemakers making that first step into investing, you could also consider hybrid products which invest in a mix of equity and debt, right? Conservative hybrid products which have a small allocation to equities, a larger allocation to debt. This will help you tread the waters. This will help you understand, get a flavor of equity investing, and then slowly and steadily you can move on to more sophisticated or more higher risk, more aggressive products. I mean, like pure equity funds, etc.
So you've touched upon a bit of a debatable topic over there about gold, which is a fight between heart and mind, right? That the pride that you get by wearing gold, right? How do you ask somebody to veer away from it and invest in gold mutual funds? See, when we buy gold jewelry, we are using it, right? And that's something that females of the families are very well associated with. So how would you, or how should one be transforming that mindset to shift towards the mutual funds or gold based mutual funds instead?
No, see, we need to first differentiate that gold can either be bought for consumption or it can be bought for investment. Of course, I cannot debate this that, uh, that for consumption, the status value it gets us, the benefits it gets us as the jewelry is completely different. What I'm talking about right now is homemakers who have those savings, collected over the years, and then they go and say buy a gold bar or gold jewelry in for storage purposes, for investment purposes, for security purposes. That's where I'm saying that's where you need to differentiate and understand that physical gold is not going to do is not going to really benefit you, right? Physical gold comes with concerns about purity. Then you have to store it. You don't worry about it being stolen. You have to when you have to sell it, you have to go physically. You might not get the right price at that time. Prices differ a lot from jeweler to jeweler. There are so many aspects and inefficiencies involved. So I mean, as an investment product, we need to try and make the shift towards financial forms of gold. As a consumption product, of course, there's no one who can debate women's love for jewelry.
So thanks, Ghazal, for participating in today's session, and I think the information that you have shared with us is really really useful, and I'm sure that the viewers of this channel will get a lot more insight about how they can start their mutual fund journeys, and how they can what are the risks associated with it, how they ensure that the target that they're trying to achieve or the goals that they're trying to achieve, mutual funds can help them reach them to their goals. So thanks once again for participating in today's session and providing the insights to the viewers of this channel.
Thank you, Amit, for having me.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.